India's east coast is bracing for a potential disaster. Tropical cyclone Phailin, the massive storm, is heading towards Odisha state. People have been evacuating for days. A similar monster storm killed 10,000 people in the same area back in 1999. Ivan Cabrera has been tracking the storm for us. Ivan, you were telling me earlier, this could be the biggest storm India has ever seen.
Yeah, the North Indian Ocean has ever seen, and certainly has already tied for the #2 spot here. We could even get worse than that. But this storm, even if it weakens a little bit or strengthens a little bit, the impacts are going to be the same. I thought I'd start off this hour with something. The National Hurricane Center, which is of course, agency that services the United States, making this statement here. A storm of this magnitude will leave most of the hardest hit areas uninhabitable for weeks to months, and that is not an exaggeration. That is the kind of storm we're dealing with here. It is not weakened, it is holding. 260-kilometer-per-hour winds. Look at these gusts, 315. Even if you live in a well-built home, okay, those winds could tear your home apart. This is a Hurricane Katrina, this is a Hurricane Andrew, and we know what those storms did in the United States. And of course, the '99 storm, what it did to India. Let us hope that they have evacuated more people and that the results will be much, much more different this time around. But the storm, similar track. Here it is, coming ashore in the next several hours. We're still estimating a landfall between 7 and 10. The most destructive winds are still offshore. But then we have to break the cyclone in two halves. On the northern and eastern half, that is where we have the storm surge. So when it comes in with 270-kilometer-per-hour winds, yes, the winds are destructive, but the winds are also going to be pushing water on shore. We call that the storm surge on the eastern half of the storm because the circulation is counterclockwise. So this is the region here. Odisha state, I think, will be the one that will be hardest hit if the storm continues on this track. And, of course, it is densely populated, which is why we've had evacuations and which is why it is so vulnerable to calamity here. 3 to 7 meter storm surge. That is what we're forecasting with a 100 to 200 kilometer-per-hour storm. Now, these are the two tracks. Look at the Odisha '99 cyclone. It is in the yellowed line here. The current cyclone, Phailin, is a little bit further to the south. But the effects, again, are going to be similar. Only 150-kilometer difference between landfalls. The only good thing I'll say is that this track is worse, the one that the '99 storm took, because these areas here are closer to the water. That is, they're closer to sea level here, so the storm surge is worse. The impacts would be worse. Phailin is a little bit further to the south. But no matter how you slice it, this is going to be a catastrophic storm, and whoever has not evacuated from the immediate coastline is going to be in a lot of trouble.